This is A Better Life with Brandon Turner. That's me, actually, of course. And this is episode 0. So, episode 0, what does that even mean? And what is this podcast all about? And who am I? Who's Brandon Turner? Well, I'm going to explain all that today. First of all, for almost a decade, I was on a little show called the Bigger Pockets Real Estate Podcast. Anybody out there listen to it? I know somebody in their car is like, I did. This show was about real estate investing. And look, over like 9 years, we interviewed hundreds and hundreds of people about their journey as an investor into real estate. And you know, one of the biggest episodes of all time, it was episode 1. And that actually makes sense, right? Because no matter when you discovered Bigger Pockets Real Estate Podcast, episode 0, episode 1, 10, 100, 500, whatever. No matter when you found it, you would still you'd go back and start at the beginning. Like, lots of people did that. They binge it like it was a Netflix, murder mystery drama thing. But that first episode on Bigger Pockets didn't really explain what the show was or who we were or why someone should listen to it. And I always said, for the next 10 years or 9 years, I was always like, I kick myself every week. Like, why didn't I just record an episode 0 and explain what the show was? And the truth was we didn't know what the show was or what it was going to be about. But I wish I would have done an episode 0. So here we go. Today, this is episode 0. So, my friends, this is episode 0. I'm going to explain what the show is, who I am, and what we're going to do. So I'm only going to talk for a little bit here. I'm going to try to keep it short so you can get on your way to the real episode or episodes, those amazing interviews that I've lined up for you. But first, let me give you everything you need to know about this show. First of all, let me explain what it is and why you should listen. And then I'll get into who I am. And at the very end of this, actually, I want to give away some free stuff, or at least an ebook. I wrote an ebook recently. I didn't publish it. It's about how to invest in real estate if you have just $100,000. And I'm going to give that to you later. Sound fair? Okay. So first, what is the show all about? Well, I mentioned earlier that I did this show, Bigger Pockets, about real estate investing for a decade. This is not that. Look, I still love real estate. I still invest in real estate. I have 7,500 plus rental units with my syndication company. But let me be blunt. You can be an absolute beast when it comes to business and real estate and money. But if your family life is a wreck, you're losing the game. Or maybe your family life is solid, but your health, it's struggling and you don't have the energy you want. Or maybe you're going to die 10 years earlier because you didn't eat right along the way. That's a problem. So you see, I care way more. I care a lot about you. I care way more about your life holistically than just your finances. So yes, you're going to learn how to build wealth on this show. I mean, it's in my blood. I love business. I love real estate. You can't separate that from me. But I'm also going to cover a whole lot more than that. I mean, the name of the show kind of says it all, right? I want you to have a better life. And so with that, what does a better life mean? So here is my, we'll call it 4-part, philosophy. Is that the right word? On how to get a better life. Step 1. You need to believe that having a better life is possible. Now, I know that sounds cheesy, but so many people, in fact, I would argue the majority of the world, they live in this belief that their life is the result of luck, of circumstance, of external factors. Like they're in the back of some taxi getting driven around by some drunk taxi driver going wherever the taxi driver wants to take them. But I want you to know that you are the driver of your life. I'm not saying that you get to decide 100% on what happens to you. That's nonsense, right? There still are external factors. They do come into play all the time, every single day. But how about that? I'll explain it this way. This is a metaphor I usually use. Like surfing. Imagine surfing, right? I do that because I live in Hawaii, right? So you can't control the waves, but you can pick your spot out there. You can choose what beach to paddle out to. You can look around and see where the waves are breaking and then paddle over there. And so that's why you can't always control the waves, but you can learn to surf. That's why step 1 is believing that it's possible to live a better life. Step 2, you got to define what a better life even means for you. And I mean for you because it's different for everyone. For me, I absolutely love being a family guy, a dad, a husband. I love spending time with my kids. I love hanging out with my amazing, hot, beautiful wife, Heather. I also love building wealth. That's a big part of my better life. That's a game I play all the time. I love it. I love building businesses and wealth and all that. Even though I'm already a multimillionaire, I already have financial freedom many times over, but I love building wealth, so eventually I'll give it all away. I also like to work out, but to be honest, my better life doesn't mean I have a 6-pack. It doesn't mean I spend 5 hours in the gym every day. That doesn't fire me up. I want to be healthy, but I don't want to be crazy about it, and I'm okay with that. Maybe you're the opposite. Maybe you love the 5 hours in the gym, whatever. What does your better life look like? Now, that seems like a simple question, but it's actually more complicated than you might think because honestly, we don't really know what we want until we see it or experience it. Like our brains they have to know what we want, like what's possible, and then we can latch onto what we want for vision for our life. That's why this podcast is so important. You're going to hear from people from all walks of life who are amazing at certain areas of their life or another. You're going to learn from them. You're going to pick up ideas on what they've done, on what a better life is to them, so that you can apply it to your own life. And that really leads me into step number 3, or philosophy point number 3 on achieving a better life. You seek out individuals who are rock stars in accomplishing the things you want to accomplish. And then you learn what they do. Now, I say this often. It's one of the most powerful things you're going to hear today. I want you to grab a pen and write this down. Surround yourself with people who make the impossible look like a Tuesday morning. Maybe even take that and put it on a quote card and put it on your Instagram. It's powerful, right? Surround yourself with people who make the impossible just look normal, like a normal Tuesday morning. And then figure out what they do that makes them that way. I'll use a real life example. Does the idea of building a multi-million-dollar per year internet business sound awesome to you? Maybe not. But let's just say it does, right? But does it also sound impossible and crazy and big and overwhelming? Probably. But one of the guests you're going to hear on this show in the coming weeks, Steve, he's done just that multiple times. And he's so well versed in it. Like he could do it with his eyes closed, just like next week, launch a business that makes $1 million a year. That's who you want to learn from, if that's what you want to get to. So look for that show when it comes out. Another guest on one of the first episodes is one of the happiest, most positive people I've ever met. The guy is full of energy, and as a result, he's got a huge business. He's got this rock solid marriage. He's got great kids. He's got this network of friends that's ridiculous. So if being happier isn't important to you, then lean into that episode. Learn what he does. Look, every episode is going to feature a guest. Hopefully, maybe some will be solo shows, but with me. But most of them will have guests who make the impossible seem like a Tuesday morning, so that you can go do the impossible yourself. Now, step number 4 in achieving a better life: take action on the stuff that you're learning. Like, look, listening to a podcast is great, and I hope these interviews are as fun to listen to as they were to record. But I don't want you to learn about having a better life. I don't want you to learn or just learn about having millions of dollars. I want you to actually take action needed to make millions of dollars, so you can do what you want, when you want, how you want, with whoever you want. And then you can use that abundance, that financial abundance, to give away money and to bless other people. Look, I don't want you to just learn how to improve, let's call it your marriage. I don't want you to learn how to get in shape. I want you to make your marriage like a 20 out of 10, full of joy and excitement and adventure and fun and sex and all those good things that marriage can be. I want that for you. I don't want you to just learn how to get in shape. I want you to get in shape and to learn to say no, and to actually say no to the things you know you shouldn't eat, and say yes to the things you should. And I want you to look in the mirror and be like, dang, I look good naked. But listen, all that doesn't happen naturally. It doesn't work if you don't work. You got to take action. In fact, one of the quotes that I live my life by, it's one of my favorite quotes by the great Michael Jordan, who said, "Some people want it to happen, some wish it would happen, others make it happen." Now listen, I can help you with the first 3 kind of steps of the Better Life philosophy here on the podcast. And I can try to make it fun and educational and exciting. And you're going to meet a lot of great people and learn a lot of great stuff. But you got to help me with step 4. You got to take that action. But listen, you're not alone if you don't want to be. I mean, there's a lot of ways to have support and help, but one of them is called the Better Life Tribe. A lot of you are already members, BLT for short, Better Life Tribe. It's for people who want accountability, and I would love you to be part of that. And I know many, again, are. So if you are, you're awesome. We do weekly calls. We bring in amazing speakers. We do live events around the country. We're about to drop some amazing courses, including the first one's like a 12-week course actually on investing in real estate in a economically uncertain time. We'll call it that. I don't have the official title yet, but it should be out here shortly. And if you want more information on joining the tribe, it's not open all the time. We only open it a few times a year. But if you want to join the wait list and learn more, go to abetterlife.com/BLT. abetterlife.com/BLT. And I almost forgot. One of the best things about the tribe, which is kind of a cool thing. Yes, it's amazing. It's helping people. People are living better lives. They're holding each other accountable to greatness. But did you know that 100% of the profits from the tribe actually go to charity? Specifically this year, we're focusing on charities focused on the fight against human trafficking, because that is a terrible industry, and I want to do whatever we can to help. So I only make $1 a year from the entire tribe, even though it makes millions of dollars. It's not a nonprofit business. It's a ridiculously helpful and absurdly profitable business that just so happens to give all the profit away. So that's what the podcast is about, and obviously why you should listen to it. Now, I want to get you on to listening to it next, but let me wrap with who I am, and I want to do this in under 60 seconds. You can actually time me. Let's see if I can do it in 60 seconds. I don't know how to do the seconds on my clock, so you're going to have to time me. I'm Brandon Turner. I was born in blue-collar Minnesota. My dad was a meat cutter. Mom did daycare in our house. I met my dream girl in college, got married. I worked at Cold Stone Creamery for a while, scooping ice cream, singing for tips. I discovered the idea of real estate investing. I started buying stuff with no and low money down because I had no and low money. I made a ton of mistakes. I learned the hard way. I did a lot of tough things. I read a lot of books. Eventually, I did get financial freedom from cash flow from those rental properties. Then I started the Bigger Pockets podcast alongside Josh Dorkin and the whole Bigger Pockets community. And later, David Green came in and hosted with me. I had a couple kids along the way. I started buying mobile home parks and apartment complexes and a little self-storage through my company, Open Door Capital. We're soon rebranding that to BetterLife Capital. And then I left the Bigger Pockets podcast so I could travel the world with my family. So we did that, went to Paris and Spain and Scotland, which is amazing, and all over the U.S. I now have over 7,500 rental units, several businesses, lots of employees, and I have an obsession with helping other people live a better life. And I live in Hawaii, Maui, because why not? And you should come out. We do events out here in Maui all the time. And that, my friends, is episode 0. How did I do in 60 seconds? I think I went a little over. Listen, last thing, actually 2 more things before you go. First of all, understand that shows like this, like in order for them to go out to the world and to affect a lot of people, it relies on you subscribing and you leaving reviews and ratings. If you could do that, subscribe, leave a review, leave a rating, I would love you forever. I'll give you a big hug when we hang out in person. And then if you do that, go over to Instagram, go to Beardy Brandon, beard with a Y at the end of it, Beardy Brandon, that's me. And then follow me if you want, but then send me a DM. Let me know that you did that so I can give you a big old digital bear hug or something. All right, what else I got? I think that's almost it. Oh yeah, the ebook. If I wrote this a few months ago, I didn't publish it yet. Anyway, maybe I will sometimes. It's short. It's only gonna take you like a half hour to read it, maybe an hour. It's called How to Invest in Real Estate. How to invest $100,000 into real estate with no tenants, toilets, or trauma. And you can get it by going to abetterlife.com/book. abetterlife.com/book. Make sure you put the A at the beginning of that. That's it. Go listen to the next episode. I think you're gonna like it, and hopefully it'll improve your journey towards a better life. For a better life with Brandon Turner, my name is Brandon Turner, signing off.